The year is 2023. All media and entertainment is controlled by the Cornahs. They keep asking for more and more and more. But there's one thing they forgot. The power has never belonged to the Cornahs. The power belongs to the people. Chunks and a hunk, and by doing so, you are taking a stand.
From deep in the Mojave Desert, you're listening to the Shadowcast.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Doge, and high school is like the training chunks for the bicycle of life.
And I'm Carter, and capitalism is a social system owned by the capitalistic class, a small network of very wealthy and powerful business chunks who compromise the health and security of the general population for corporate gain.
You had some real pacer test energy there.
What's a pacer test?
You know what the pacer test is?
I don't know.
Carter. The thing at school where you'd have to run, and it would be like the pacer test is a fitness gram pacer. Yeah, that's what it is. The fitness gram pacer test is and you'd have to like run to one line and then get there before the beep, and then run back and get there before the beep, and then
No.
You didn't have to do that.
Mm-mm.
I forgot you're old.
No,
Oh, you're so
I just
old.
lifted up my shirt and they saw all eight
Oh,
parts
wow.
of my pack.
belly buttons.
All eight belly buttons, and they were like, ooh! They vomited. and let
Ew,
me just
yucky.
Go
Like
read.
they saw all 8 of my dog nipples, and it was like, wow, he could sure nurse a lot of puppies with all that going on
Wow,
down there.
we gotta breed. We gotta
Ooh,
breed
no.
this one. We gotta
No.
breed this
Wow.
one. He's gonna give us
Comes
plenty
from
of milk.
good stock. He doesn't need to run.
Dan Ornofsky's dreams.
What a rich milk supply this young man has.
So much.
That's what they said. That's what they said about you. What a rich milk
milk-
supply
They call
this
it
young
puppy
man has.
love. Yep.
That's what they.
So-
that's what they call him, the milkman.
That's why,
That's
and
it.
that's why they call Carter the milkman. If I may,
Bring milkman
Yeah.
with my eight bitties. Go.
well. What do we have here? Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe
What?
rotten is right.
Something's rotten in the state of tomatoes.
Something rotten this way, tomatoes. You can pick any of those for the headline, I guess. All the wells included. Rotten Tomatoes got some bad press
yeah.
yesterday
No.
as
I
of
missed it.
recording.
Tell me.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Did you miss this?
Yeah.
Rotten
Did you
Tomatoes
miss
done
it?
come under fire for I guess it's not really Rotten Tomatoes' fault now that I'm saying it out loud, but studios have been reaching out to critics directly, paying them off to give them positive Rotten Tomatoes reviews. So turns out the best thing that ever happened to us was Rotten Tomatoes rejecting us.
They said, y'all are too sound of judgment.
They said, I can see your scruples from here.
Yes,
We're not
and they
letting
are
you in the door.
magnificent.
We're
They're
still
magnificent
talking about gym
scruples.
class for me, aren't we? Okay, that's fine.
I can see all 8 of Carter's scruples.
All of my scruples.
Yeah, so turns out
Your
that
scruples.
all those times that we were like, I don't understand how this movie's rating is so high. I know it's going to suck. Flash.
Dude.
Turns out people are
You-
getting paid dollar bills.
You best believe Warner Brothers was dishing it out, bro.
Oh, yeah. Got to.
Might as well been a fondue pot for all that cheddar they were slinging, trying to get that rating up. You know what I'm saying?
We'll probably use that for the headline, actually. That one was good.
Yes, dude. Cheddar
That one was
slinging tomatoes. Take that.
Ooh. My mind was filled with hollow tomatoes filled with cheese. Squeeze the tomato and the cheese comes out. deep fry it.
We're getting close to pizza.
Oh, wait, keep going.
Keep going. I'm almost to pizza.
Please
Keep going.
I'm almost to pizza. Yeah, Rotten
What
Tomatoes.
is happening?
Rotten Tomatoes are the rottenest of all, it turns out. And
Yeah.
honestly, jokes aside, yeah, I mean, we knew that
Right,
those
yeah,
reviews
this is-
were not legit.
This
It's
is
not news.
unsurprising at all. Yeah. It's
Who's
completely
looked at Rotten Tomatoes
unsurprising.
in the last 4 years and been like, that's definitely accurate.
Yeah. Speaking of, we knew this. Like we've given advice before of things like Bullet Train. It's like,
yeah,
hey,
dude.
Hey, don't let what Flickster is saying sway you from going to the movie. If you feel like that's your vibe, go see the movie.
Right, right.
And lo and behold, confirmed. Don't worry about that at all. Now, the
I'll
scientific
never-
cinema scale, which we haven't heard from in some time. Now that is
Unblemished.
unblemished.
I can confidently say no one has paid us for the scientific cinema scale.
And they never will.
We kind
So-
of pay for the scientific cinema scale.
That's true.
We pay for it ourselves.
Yeah. Relationally,
losing money
by
on
asking
the
all of our
scientific
friends to
cinema
listen to the
scale.
podcast.
If anybody ever, let's play this out. Carter, play the crooked studio that reaches out to me, a movie reviewer, for a positive review for money.
Got it. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Jordan Wonders.
Hey, Jordan. It's Jordan of the old Three Stinks and a Dink podcast over there.
It's close enough. How can I help you?
Yeah, we just, we got this new movie coming out called Gods of Egypt and Wars of Spain, and it's going to be a big one. It's
Yeah.
one of our biggest up to this point, and we were just wondering, you seem to have some influence as you're an influencer.
Sure.
How would you feel about giving this one a good review when it comes to theaters? I'm sure you've heard of it.
I haven't seen it yet, Mr. Studio. It would be
You don't
dishonest.
need to. I mean,
oh,
is $25 dishonest to you? What do you think? How does that feel? Huh? That's 5 whoppers these days.
that's a life-changing.
You a 5 whopper kind of guy? 6 it is. $30. What you say?
What about 30 bucks?
You got 2 options. Rotten, fresh. Just say it's fresh. That's all you got to say. No one looks for the 0.23s of the world.
Can you explain to me how much money $30 is for 8 more seconds? 7,
Yeah. So,
6,
I think it's 5.
4,
No, it's just $5 more,
3.
right?
Keep them on the line. 2, 1. We got him. The FBI's coming at
We
you.
got
I will
him.
never give in.
We've been tracing your
Never
call.
surrender.
I'm going to call Seth Rogen anyways.
Wait, hang on. I mean,
He's here on the call. Seth would never do that because he's not a movie critic.
He's not even a
He's
movie
an
critic.
actor.
hey, did you mean Joe
did the
Rogan?
wrong Joe Rogan. I did it.
That's amazing. Hey, if Seth Rogen had the Seth Rogen experience, I would actually. That's a Rogan related podcast I would actually listen to. I'll tell you
That's
that right
maybe
now.
the only
do it.
Rogan experience I'm interested in.
What if he bought it and just kept it the Joe Rogan experience, but it's Seth Rogen the entire time?
Be pretty funny.
The Joe Rogan experience with Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's good.
If you take away the
Seth
podcast, do you think Joe Rogan would just sit in an ice bath all day?
That's a very good question. Probably.
Because I mean, take away his podcast, you got to free
Probably.
up 7 hours out of every single weekday for him,
Of an ice bath.
and so much.
I can't. Have you
Dana
guys
White's
done
just
an ice bath
refreshing
ever?
No, I would though.
No, I haven't.
I don't think
I'm
I would.
down.
That's too cold.
Why not?
It's too
I'm
cold.
down. I think
You
the
don't stay
initial
for a long
shock is all
time.
you got to get past.
It's anytime. It's feeling. I feel the same way about sauna. I did sauna one time and was like, "This sucks." I did sauna
Sauna
for
was
about
nice.
30 seconds. Sauna's terrible.
I got to tell you,
Great.
I've scrolled across several TikToks of people, and I haven't done an ice bath, so I really can't.
Remind me
speak
what
to
that
this.
is. What, TikTok? What'd you say? Talk?
Oh, TikTok?
It's YouTube. It's Facebook stories, Instagram stories, but for people who want stuff that's like within the last couple days instead of like a
like
month
Vine.
or two ago. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Go
Yeah,
on.
it's similar.
Yeah.
I've scrolled across several TikToks that are of people getting into ice baths and they act as though it's like a spiritual experience. They're like giving you life advice while they get into the ice bath and stuff. And nothing turns me off more than when somebody acts as though a relatively like mundane thing to do is like a spiritual life-changing experience.
Yeah.
Like just get in the ice bath and shut up, dude. Like
Not a chance, dude.
it's so
Not a
ridiculous to
chance.
me to be like, you get in the ice bath and you're like, sometimes you have to conquer your fears. Sometimes you have to face the things that are, just get in the ice bath. You don't have to film
Just
it.
jump
Just
on
get in the
it,
ice
man.
bath.
Ice bath could be a very emotional experience, though, which actually might
'Cause
be
it makes
something that
you-
we should.
It makes you afraid of where your peeper went. You're like,
It makes you.
oh,
it
no,
makes you
oh
like,
no, I done lost it.
like suck up all inside yourself. Makes you turn inside out a little bit. A little bit of a black hole situation. Maybe we
think
need to
about
add
your
ice
dad.
bath to the. Maybe we need to add ice bath to the wheel of Cinemotion. I'm trying to seamlessly transition us into a bit, and you guys are just like, let me stay over here and let him do what he's gonna do.
Gosh, dude,
First
so
of all, it's insane for you to think that anybody on this podcast just gets to start a sentence without the participation of anybody else on this podcast.
I had hoped this was a more respectful. It's Shadowcast 5. We're out of our toddler phase. I would hope we'd be
No.
respectful. We're about to start kindergarten.
Let me tell you this. Mini Monday, maybe our 125th Mini Monday, there was a point where I was like, I need to stop just trying to mediate. Just let them play. Just let them talk. I'm not, because there would be so many episodes where I'd be like, and not today. And not today.
Yeah.
Well, because funny you said, and it's
Sure.
just like riff. And I miss out on the riff because I'm just too like, no, you can't do anything.
Do y'all
But
have
go
anything
ahead
more
and
you want to say about
try
ice
that,
baths?
Doge.
That was
No, that's
good.
fine.
That was
No,
good. Now
I'd-
keep talking about
No,
cold water.
I'd love to hear your cool transition about emotions. Let's go. Let's talk about how ice bath is an emotion on a circle. Here we go.
Ice bath could be an emotional experience, much like the emotions that you might find on the Wheel of Cinemotion. The way this game works is that we spin the Wheel of Cinemotion. There are today 4 emotions that you may not have ever heard of. And whatever the wheel lands on, you have to tell me the last piece of media that you consumed that made you feel that emotion. Are you ready to play?
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Wait, now really think about it, because we could talk more about ice baths.
Those, if we
You'd
tallied
make a
up,
great teacher.
if we tallied up the interruptions on this podcast, it would be so even.
Oh,
across
the wheel's already
board.
spinning.
It would be
Oh.
so even across the board.
We landed on liberosis. Do we know what liberosis is?
I'm pretty sure you need to go to the hospital immediately if you.
Yeah, it's when you partake of too much liberty that you lose all sense of time and space.
Liberosis is the desire to care less about things, to loosen your grip on life, to stop glancing behind you every few steps, kind of just to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I've got this.
Tell me.
Randomly, youth group, we had our youth minister is Andrew Crosby. He was at Baylor and he was coming to youth minister to us, and he was great. He was a really fun guy. Took us to the movies, and it was like there was nothing in theaters, and so we're like, yeah, whatever. This new movie out called Napoleon Dynamite.
amazing.
And we go watch it, and I was just like, well, what? I was just cracking up the whole time. This was one of the first that I can remember just quoting it the entire time. Hot Topic, half of its shirt board was Napoleon Dynamite stuff.
Yeah.
But it was this dive into, and it was even before some of the obscurity of like Anchorman and things like that. But it was this dive into of like, just don't care. I couldn't tell you what the ultimate goals were. I know that he was preparing for a talent competition, but nothing else.
Like borderline absurdism.
Yeah, nothing really
Yeah.
carried any weight at all. And I remember just feeling so light because there weren't really stakes. And when there were stakes, they were launched and hitting people in the face. It was like, yeah, Napoleon Dynamite for sure was liberosis for me. That's a good word.
That is a good one. I think this is weird. This is extremely weird. I think it had to be sometime during the first season of Prehistoric Planet for me. The desire to care less about things hit me. Because there's an element of perspective when you're just like, oh, wow. Like everything that's really bugging me is so small and little bitty. And I don't have to care about any of that because like a million billion years ago, there was this T-Rex and he did this kind of stuff. And it was just like anything like that or like an ocean documentary or
to be
space
found
documentary.
kind of thing, or like,
yeah, and it's just like zooming out. There's a YouTube channel that Jordan turned me on to called Kurzgesagt.
Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to say it either. But it's like
It's really cool.
it's like explainer videos of just like broad, like there's a ton of like concepts that might be science fiction, but like treated intelligently and like anything that like kind of zooms me out a little bit, like gives me a little bit more like, hey, the stuff that feels really big to you right now, ultimately it's just kind of a blip and that's okay.
I love that. Jordan,
did you watch the video they put out?
I was just going to say, Jordan, it sounds like it kind of feeds into your love of like the rules of fantasy, of like the rules of, yeah. Sure, he wants to move on and says what he wants to say.
No. I think I could agree with that
Dude,
as well.
he's got that look in his eye like he wants to just talk about ice baths some more and we're not letting him. It's
You guys know
being
I love
so
talking
rude
about
on
ice
his
bath.
podcast.
I was just going to ask those if you watched the video that they put out like maybe 3 weeks ago about how much time we really have to react in the face of a nuclear war.
Yep.
And it's about 4 minutes.
Yep.
So keep that in mind
Yep.
as we keep voting in
Not worth it.
senile old dinosaurs into the position of president.
They're only going to live for 3 more minutes, though. So ultimately, they're doing that calculus and probably coming out ahead.
That's why I didn't understand why people made fun of President Obama for playing basketball because his reflexes were on point.
On point.
Hit that button. You know what I mean? This is
Tell me
weird
about
for me.
liberosis.
I'd love to see somebody in DC just walk, you know? Like talk.
Yeah, finish a sentence. Finish a
Yeah.
thought.
That was a very good Glitch McConnell face.
Glitch McConnell. Whoa, dude. That was excellent. Did you come up with that or did you read that?
I wish. No,
That
I
was
read it.
so good.
I read it. Like everything else I say that's funny, nothing original.
Nothing. I have a tough time with this particular liberosis because I think I'm a pretty I'm like an easygoing neurotic. I would not say that my skill set is letting go. And so I think for me, I don't know if it's the first time, but there is a game called Life is Strange, made by Don't Nod, that is like a decision-based, they call it like a walking sim, where it's like, there's not a lot of gameplay element. It's just like walk and have conversations, but there's a story to it, and there's decisions you make that matter. And it's set in like, I don't know, it's like a fantasy. It's like almost like a what's the like Twin Peaks? It's almost like a Twin Peaks like fever dream sort of a game, but
Yeah.
it's at this like boarding school in coastal Washington, or coastal Oregon, maybe. I think it's Oregon. In this like sort of idyllic small town off the coast of the Pacific. And it's like everybody's like talking like a 90s. It's made by a team of people from like French Canada. So all the American slang is from like 90s TV shows. And
how fun.
but it's just this sort of like small town murder mystery that gets a little bit bigger as it goes. But there's something about there being two sets of problems in the game. One set is that someone is a murderer, and then the other set of problems is like high school, like got to make sure I get to class, got to find out if this girl likes me, got to find it, like that kind of thing.
Got to get a bowl, got to get cereal.
Yeah. That something about the minutia of the high school problems, but in this game, they are treated with almost equal weight to finding the murderer because you are a high school kid in the game.
Yeah.
Something about that I find so like calming.
Kind of Spielbergian.
It is a little Spielbergian. But yeah, I don't know. Something about the equal weighting of the two different types of problems I find so like, dude,
That's great.
every problem, every frustration, it's all about the same. just handle it and move on. And then in a week, it's going to feel like it was a year ago, you know? And I find that comforting as somebody who tends to get stuck in what I call like the spin cycle of a problem, where it's just like, oh no, it's probably fine. Oh no, it's probably fine. Oh no, it's probably fine. And then having the wherewithal and the perspective to just be like, just stomp the problem out and move on is nice. So yeah, I would say Life is Strange.
That is nice.
Play that game. It's very good. It's short.
I love
finish it in a couple sittings if you want to.
Play that game just like we played this game, which has once again been the wheel of Cinemotion. And see, that's an example of the good transitions I could do if you guys wouldn't interrupt me all the time.
He just interrupted you just to talk about not interrupting anymore. That's the energy that Doge is bringing to the Mojave Desert.
Maybe you should practice liberosis a little bit and not care so much about me.
Dang. You're probably true. You're probably true on that one. Doge, do you normally have like I can't remember is there a breaking news for SWTBOE sound? Like, how do we transition into that?
Yeah, there's a little sound.
And welcome in. I'm John Sean Johnson, and we are here with SWTBOE. That is Sportsin' with the best of them. There's just too much sports to go around, so we're going to try and catch a couple of these big storylines. And we're starting with one from last night. We've got JV Dones out in Detroit after the team has come home from Arrowhead with the big win last night. I heard you talk to Coach Campbell. JV, how are they feeling after that win last night?
Well, Coach Campbell, of course, is very proud of the boys and all the folks who make up the team and rode the team bus. They're from Arrowhead back to Detroit. It was a tough competition. But our players, you know, they stepped out there and they really took it to the net, you know, and that could be an expression or it could be literal. I'll let you decide that because you watched the game, but they really took it to the net. And the Detroit, let's say Tigers or maybe Bengals. I don't know. The Detroit somethings, they're really looking at a great season coming out of this one. And what you got to realize is that that's a significant departure from the expectation for the Detroit Tigers or Bengals. And Coach Campbell knows
JV
this. And I
Dones
think
is
that's what's
slowly
really
becoming
lighting
Woody
the
Harrelson.
fire underneath him.
Yeah. Thank you so much, JV. You are always on top of the details over and over again. On top of the details. Thank you so much. Now we head over to New York and talk about the streak that Coco is on as she reaches her first semifinal match. How are we feeling, Jolly Whaler?
Well, I'm walking here. Sorry, out on the street. You know, walking in New York City. Gotta catch a taxi cab, but this is a little more Chicago than New York, but a lot of people don't care out here. My favorite thing about Cocoa is probably the puffs. I love mixing the milk with the Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
It creates such a delightful flavorscape, and I think that I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And every time I get a bowl, it makes me want to have a second bowl, sometimes a third bowl. And I think that probably the best quality of cocoa is just the addictive qualities of the cocoa. I would say that I am, in fact, in love with the cocoa and would like to consume it on a more regular basis and closer intervals in time. Thank you for calling. Who is this?
Sean John Johnson of SWTBOE. Thank you again. We are all a little cuckoo for Coco Gauff out there in the U.S. Open. Keep it up, Coco. Bring it home. And thanks again to our other, I can't remember their name because it was hard to say, but they were out there in Detroit as they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs last night.
Dang it. Wrong cats. I was thinking of the wrong cat.
Same cat family. SWTBOE. Signing out.
Jordan, the ramble that you gave us for Cocoa Puffs was like very reminiscent of the thought patterns of that disgraced Home Alone 2 actor who just got arrested in Georgia. What was his name? Do you remember that guy? It was very reminiscent of those thought patterns.
Disgraced Home Alone 2 actor.
I'm talking about Donald J. Trump.
Oh.
I forgot he was in Home Alone 2. I genuinely forgot he was in Home Alone 2. Yeah, you should have seen the picture of me as I was talking. I looked so strong, so powerful. Everybody really admires my weird forward lean and the fact that I look like Randall from Recess. I've never seen a human being stand at a 70-degree angle before. It cannot be healthy.
Let's not talk about him. Garbage, man. Let's talk about him.
We'll talk about him.
It's time for shout announcements, where I promise we won't talk about sports. Welcome to Shout Announcements. I just closed my AirPod, just like shut itself on the left side of my head when I made that sound. I didn't even know that was.
You're like vacuum sealed?
It was like it's protecting me.
It said, no, you can't.
It's too loud.
You shouldn't.
Shut it down.
Too high.
Welcome to Shout Announcements. It's the part of the show where we give shout outs and make announcements. Want to give a shout out to spooky season. Ooh.
It's
So
coming.
scary. So
It's
scary.
creeping up on us.
Spooky season so scary, literally. Chunktober.
Literally the scariest thing I could even think about.
So
is
scary.
Spooky season is literally wide around the corner. It's freaking me out.
Full of ghosts and ghouls.
Homestall? Ghosts
Homestall.
and ghouls.
Ghouls and ghosts.
Next month. Next month is October, the spooky season. It's time for what we know around here colloquially as Chunktober. And well, the Shadowcast.
Favorite time of the year.
The Shadowcast is on the move. We don't want to advertise this too much, so please keep it down. But the Shadowcast is headed for international waters, beyond the reach of the Corpo Studios. The strike, not only unnecessary, but uninvited, because these are studios that, as far as I know, are paying fairly and doing their part to make sure that the people who work with them receive the money and the care that they deserve, writers and actors alike. That's right. Chunktober this year is going international, which means we're going to need your help. It's a votes. It's a votes. It's a votes. It's a votes.
It's a vote.
It's a vote.
It's a vote.
It's a me votes. So keep an eye out for that. That's coming your way is basically sort of the gist.
Very excited. Very excited. We could only keep from talking about movies for so long. And then when we found out there was this opportunity,
we found out there's
we've already
other
had really
countries,
much of
dude?
There's other countries, dude. But really, if y'all want to go back and listen, much of our most recent series were this journey. Going around the world.
We've done
experiencing all different kinds of things.
Yeah. We've had suspicions there were places other than America for quite some time.
I've heard the rumors.
Some say.
I've read about it.
Some say.
Am I doing both
I guess we do have more. I guess we do have more to talk about too, don't we? You could do both if you want to.
Okay. On Wednesday, September 20th, we have something that I'm really excited about, actually. I think this will be super fun. We've got something planned for you, our dear listeners. If you are only you if you're in our Discord, basically. For people on our second tier of Patreon in our Discord servers, we've got something cooking that we're pretty excited about.
Interesting.
On Wednesday, September 20th, we're going to be hosting a Zoom call with the four of us and all of you. That Zoom link's going to go in our Discord server, and any of you can join up with us for what we're calling Wind Down Wednesday. And the goal is bring a drink, bring a snack. Doesn't have to be wine. You could bring a LaCroix. You could bring a coffee. You could bring a Sleepy Time tea. Whatever you'd like.
Liquid Death?
You can bring a Liquid Death, a Liquid IV, liquid water, whatever you want. That's your prerogative.
Milk.
But we just want to have a snack, have a little bevy,
Chocolate
play maybe some Quiplash, maybe break off into a side room to talk about I imagine that I'll be caught up on Stormlight fully by that point. So I think that we can go have a little spoiler talk about Stormlight. We can.
I know I'll be hosting one just strictly for politics. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are just like,
Can't
I
wait.
can't get enough of that. Let's go have that conversation.
Carter's got some unique ideas.
oh man.
Let's let that hang. You decide what you think that means. But yeah, we're really excited about it. We think it'll be a good time, and we also just we like all of you guys, and we want to hang. So that's our solution for now. Wind Down Wednesday, September 20th. Mark your
Oprah.
calendar. Andy, you get a Zoom.
In honor of the now officially announced partnership between Two Chunks and a Hunk and Infinity FC Dallas, that's our city, our state's only professional rec league soccer team. I want to play a game. I want to play a game called That's a Corner.
That's a Cornah.
That's a Corner.
That's a Cornah.
That's a Corner. In this game, we're going to make a corner of 3 individuals.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have to be in the movie business. They can be anywhere. Answering a random Google question. Essentially, we're saying, who are the 3 best to say something perhaps like, why life is so hard? Again,
Why
from
life is so hard.
last time we played,
hard?
that was Hugh Grant, that was Pitbull, and that was the person who sang Had a Bad Day or whatever it was.
Daniel Powder.
Daniel Powder. Put some respect.
Daniel Powder, Nickelodeon character and recording artist.
Daniel
Doge,
Powder
give
does
me-
totally sound like the main character of a cartoon about skiing.
Oof. That's amazing. Or the kid who comes like
My dad invented
from
snow.
Colorado to hang out with the rocket power crew.
My cousin Daniel Powder. He carves the slopes like we carve the streets.
The fresh pow pow. Doge, give us a
gotta
question
mean
where
drugs.
I
I don't
still don't know
know,
what to
but
call
that's
these.
gotta
I hate
mean
that I don't know what to
drugs.
call these. Who, what, when, where, why, how? Give us one of those.
Can I give you an exotic one, or does it have to be one of the more pedestrian varieties?
Those are the vowels, right? That's what you call those questions, the vowels, who, what, when, where, why, and sometimes
I think
how.
that's
I
it.
think
Yeah.
so.
They
And
cost
sometimes
like
why.
$250 to use
Yeah.
them.
Does it have to be one word, or can it be many?
Go for it, dude.
For what purpose?
Oh, and then Jordan, a letter, please.
D.
Oh my god. Okay, we've got 2 that we can choose from here to make a corner. Or we can make multiple. It doesn't take long. Let's try 2 corners. Can we try 2 corners?
Yeah.
2 corners.
Sounds like if you're
4
getting close
corners
to a
in
box.
pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's half a box.
For what purpose did Napoleon begin trading?
Huh.
Who answers this for us?
John
I mean,
Heater.
yeah. John Heater, Joaquin Phoenix.
Who's short?
The new
Tom
Napoleon. Haven't heard about that. And Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Help us get in his head.
They're going to be able to tell us
Yep.
why Napoleon began trading. That was easy. On to the next
2
one.
Napoleons and a little fella.
2 Napoleons and a Napoleon complex.
That's a better name for a
You can-
podcast, probably.
Great thing about the English language is you can take a lot of words however you like. There's many of them that could mean different things. I'm just going to say. Here's the other one. For what purpose do you use colons? Who do we use for
Huh.
this? This is a very important question.
Do you
that
think-
people of the world and people of Google are asking?
Dave
Okay,
Matthews.
I was going to say Dave Matthews.
No, you weren't.
I was going to. I was literally going to say Dave Matthews. Because colon stores and then dumps fecal matter, which is something Dave loves to do.
Oh, y'all don't like Dave Matthews?
No. He dumped his tour bus, accidentally ejected the black water, brown water, whatever you call it, gray water, onto a boat from a bridge. They were on a
Full of
bridge
people.
and dumped the poop from his tour bus onto a boat full of people. Did you not know about that?
No. When did that happen?
Oh, it was a while ago. I think it was
Oh, I'm sorry. I done my poop on the road.
he was like, were there any
Push button go.
bears on board?
It has its own Wikipedia page
No.
called Dave Matthews Band Chicago River Incident.
Holy moly,
Chicago
dude.
River incident.
And then
Oh my gosh.
somebody was like, the woman on the boat, she's unconscious. And he was like, I really hope that she wakes up in the morning.
Crash into me.
Dude, they
man.
have the the like exact GPS coordinates of the location of the Chicago River incident.
Every time I poop, I make a mess on my clothes. Well, why have you tried to hack up your skirt a little more?
You know how they got those coordinates? Satellite. Oh no. So that's one. So how do we properly use a colon? We're using Dave Matthews for this.
Dave Matthews for
excellent
sure.
Start.
Dave Matthews.
Kim Jong
Excellent
used to be a
start. How do you
doctor.
properly-
That feels like a no-brainer.
Kim Jong would be good.
Yeah. I dig that too. Thanks for sharing those coordinates. That's very helpful. So Ken Jeong, Dave Matthews, and
Who else is funny about poop?
Who's funny about poop?
Who's funny about poop?
who properly
What was that
use a
director of an X-Men movie that smeared his poop all over the walls and was like horrible?
Pardon me?
Bryan Singer.
That sounds right.
He did that?
Let's see. Bryan Singer poop. Let me Google that.
Oh, thank you. I'm not Googling it.
Joe Jonas. New York Daily News says, holy crap, Joe Jonas reveals he pooped himself on stage.
Well, first of all, we've all done that, so I don't really feel like that. We don't really feel like that's that special. Second of all, he's going through enough right now, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Dave
Probably shouldn't do
Matthews.
him.
Is it Dave Matthews or Dave Band? I know he uses all three names in his.
His full name is Dave Matthews Band. Dave M. Band. Mr. Band.
Dave M. Band.
He's like, Mr.
Kim
Band
Jong.
was my father.
David M. Band. How about Jerry Fitzpatrick, the Dave Matthews Band bus driver on the date of the Dave Matthews Band Chicago River
We
incident?
can't do two.
Who's a good corner for this?
'Cause I'm a smooth wiper, baby. Ken Jeong, Dave Matthews, and Joe Jonas have answered the question.
All right,
and
fair
my
enough.
friends, I would say, I said Cornah.
All right,
There's a
Cornah.
Cornah.
Cornah. I have
Thank you, Infinity FC Dallas.
Infinity CC.
Infinity
FC Dallas, the nation's only professional recreation soccer team.
I have a new bit for us, of which we may
Oh.
partake if we so choose. Sure. Are we ready for this
I'm down for
new
new things.
bit?
Let's do it.
This
Yes,
is
dude.
adapted from and inspired by a podcast called Story Break, which I love very much and encourage everyone to check out. Today, you boys are going to be stepping onto the Sellevator. And the way the Sellevator works is you have one elevator ride to sell me, a studio exec, on an idea. You've heard that I am here in my studio castle, in my ivory tower, looking for people to cross picket lines and pitch ideas to me for new things. So you guys have one elevator ride to pitch an idea for me. And the way this is going to work is we have a random number generator to determine how many floors we are riding together. It's going to be a number between 3 and 8. And let's see, that is 8. That's good for you guys because you get one sentence per floor. I'll let you guys decide who starts, but you trade off every sentence and you're pitching me an idea for a piece of media that you've heard that this studio is looking for. You have 8 sentences because we are riding 8 floors together on this elevator. You'll trade off sentences. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I love this. Brilliant, even.
Welcome aboard the Sellevator. I am a crusty studio exec. I'm a corpo scuzzbag who doesn't want to pay actors or writers. And so instead I have turned to you guys to scab and cross picket lines for me. You've come into the lobby of the studio. I am on the ground floor. I'm writing all the way to the 8th floor, which means you have 8 sentences trading off every sentence. And you have heard that me, Corpo Scuzbag, CEO of Scuzbag Studios, I am looking to capitalize on the recent market trend of monsters live in a house together for a sitcom. It's a proud tradition dating all the way back to the Munsters and the Addams Family. The most modern incarnations are things like What We Do in the Shadows and Ghosts, but nobody watches Ghosts, so we think we can come in a good, solid second place to What We Do in the Shadows here at Scuzbag Studios. So I need you guys in 8 sentences, trading off each sentence, to pitch me a sitcom, Monsters Living in a House.
I reach into my pocket and I hand Carter an unbranded peppermint and sort of nod at him knowingly and hand it to him. And then I pop one in my mouth as well. Delicious.
Zach, that doesn't count as one of your 8 sentences. You do
That's
this
an
as you
action.
step into the
That's an
elevator.
action.
We haven't started climbing yet.
Yeah.
And you choose who starts. You've come in here. I'm
I got an idea.
Mr. CEO Scuzbag. I'm trying to have my own day.
Jordan, you're just the best at starting things. Go for it.
Not so great at finishing, but I can start with the best of them. Mummy Knows Best is gonna be a massive hit. That's a guarantee. There's a comma there.
Yeah, I think the only issue we have, right, is because it's going to be so expensive.
Smoke starts to escape from my left pocket, and I sort of giggle to myself, and I say, this is not one of my sentences. I giggle to myself, and I say, oh, sorry, my super sick vape must be malfunctioning. Sorry, tee-hee-hee. I think the strongest selling point is that the costuming won't be super expensive because wraps really can be made out of anything, and they can even look dirty, which I think is a massive selling point for this idea.
And we don't have to get those A-listers because you can't see their face anyways, right?
At this point, the elevator dings and the doors open, and a few more people file in. We're halfway up to the 8th floor. We've just left the 4th floor.
I sheepishly apologize for the smoke escaping from my pocket that is now beginning to fill completely the
Take
elevator.
a big inhalation.
Yeah, I do too.
Those that know me have never seen me breathe this way.
It's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. Don't worry about it, guys. And the funnest thing about mummies is that they can't wear regular clothes underneath their wraps, so they would have to come up with ways to disguise themselves from normal people. And I think that's just the kind of silliness that you're really looking for here, guy.
And, you know, when we talk about silliness, we mean HBO silliness, leaning a little bit more on the mature level. It's worth it. Run on sentence.
I hand Carter a pair of earplugs, and I place some in my own ears as well. And I encourage him to do the same. They're also going to drive like cars and stuff, dude, like normal people, which I think is just rad.
At this point, the elevator stops again. The doors open.
No, they don't.
Everybody except you two and I get out of the elevator. We're ascending to the top secret, the penthouse level of the tower of Scuzbag Studios.
Wow. I like how you weren't even on the elevator and you just hijacked my entire plan. Nobody gets off the elevator. The alarm goes off. The doors remain closed. Everybody
What
that
happens?
doesn't
You have
have
one
a
more
special
sentence.
mint drops to the floor. The exec gasping for air.
Because Scuzbag clearly knows when someone's talking to him, especially if it's a man, I put his big, big sweaty head in my hands and I look him in the eyes and I say, and thank God Randy Newman has already agreed to do the song. And then I take those hands off, wipe them vigorously on my pants, and just wait.
We remove our garden shears. We cut off his thumb. Then we take the elevator to the top floor and use his thumb to open the biometric scanning door so that we can get inside the CEO's office at the top floor.
And that's me taking his eye so that we can get in through to where they actually make the official move. They make the shows real.
This is where they make the shows real. We're going to where they make the shows real.
The special portal that brings things from show land into real land.
We douse the entire room in cotton candy sugar and turn the AC up to max and all the fans on full blast so that they create cotton candy, filling the entire space with non-lethal but incredibly sticky cotton candy. We press the fire alarm and turn on the sprinklers on the way out the door. And we leave a note that simply says, "You just got stickied."
Make me laugh, jiggle my tummy. I always giggle with my mommy.
I guess thank you guys for playing Sellevator.
Yeah, man. You think I'm just going to give ideas to these corpo scuzbags? Not without getting them
Whenever
sticky.
Jordan and I are... when we're on teams and games, we make our own rules. Doge, that's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Mummy dearest, dude. Oh, gosh. I'd watch it.
I probably would too.
On HBO.
Yeah, depending on what channel it comes on, I guess I'd probably give it a try. It's time for the scientific stuff scale.
Should have known when I wore my hat like this.
Carter with his bad boy hat, his backwards bad boy hat. It's time for the scientific stuff scale. I would call it an appropriation, but an appropriate appropriation of the scientific cinema scale in order to use it during these striking times. We don't want it to rust, so we got to keep moving
When all
information
we have is stuff.
through the scale. So that means all we have is stuff. And today, I would like for us to rank on the scientific stuff scale beverages.
Just all beverages.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
This is a definitive list of the best beverages. Water, let's take water off because we need that to live.
Water's a base. Water is the starting point.
We got to say the scale first, eh?
Yeah, the best thing we can say about stuff is own it, don't lend it, buy that poster. The next best thing we can say about stuff is buy it. That's followed by rent it. And then stream it. After that is forget it. And last but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about stuff.
God hath forsaken us.
Eggnog. God has forsaken us.
Nice.
Ooh. Hard
It
disagree.
is such a
Nice. I
polarizing
like
one,
eggnog.
though. Yes. I don't like it
Store-bought.
at all.
Store-bought, no good.
Yeah,
At
agreed.
all.
My sister makes
one
really good
time-
eggnog, actually.
Jess and I made really good eggnog a few years ago, but did not pay attention to how many servings it made. So we accidentally made like 6 gallons of eggnog. And then we're like trying to just give it. We were just like following this
Just a
recipe.
vat of eggnog.
And it was like a full like stock pot, like a huge stock pot of eggnog. And then at the end, it was like separate into like 12 equal carafes. And we're like, oh my God, we don't have that. So we had to like just try to find people to give this eggnog away to. I like eggnog.
Phonetically, it sounds like when you're like trying to talk through nausea. It's just like, eggnog.
Yeah, nog is tough. Nog is unpleasant. I'm gonna
Have you had the homemade? Have you had homebrew eggnog
all
Oh,
or
I
just
have
like
all I have had is homemade eggnog.
okay?
So if
Because
you've had the
store-bought
best and
is
you don't
terrible.
like it, then yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give God Hath Forsaken It. So I'm not a big soda person. I love carbonation. I just don't really like sodas. I don't like a lot of sweet drinks in general. But my God Hath Forsaken Us is unequivocally the worst liquid to ever touch my mouth. It is Big Red.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, it tastes like
Big Red stuff.
bubble gum saliva that has been carbonated. It's horrific, and I think less of people who like
It's
it.
like you're licking the floor of a Hobby Lobby, bro. It's bad.
I try to live my life. I try to live my life as non-judgmental as possible because I love people, but if you actively like Big Red, like not just like tolerate it, but if you would choose to drink Big Red when faced with other options, I think less of you.
It's
a
a
big red
taste
flag.
that
Nice.
it's a taste that my mind says not to swallow.
Yes.
Does
Yep.
that make sense?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like I should spit it.
Yep. Like it's like fluoride at the dentist. That's kind of what it tastes
Yeah,
like.
I'm not a fan.
It's so gross.
Yeah. Nope. No thanks.
I like a lot of drinks. I'm trying to think of one that I like absolutely hate. And it's not interesting if
That's
I'm just
the
like,
point.
yeah, I don't like Big Red either.
Unless you really feel that way, you know?
I might have to go
Baja
Big
Blast?
Red by default.
It's
I
just
don't
gross,
have like
dude.
super strong, like, hate that drink, but
So
I can't
gross.
think of one I like less than Big Red.
Yeah. It's so gross.
Mm.
Big Red's a nasty one. That's a nasty one for sure.
I'm going to forget milk.
I
don't drink milk. I put it in cereal. It's an ingredient, not a beverage for me. So I'm going to forget milk.
That's why your bones are so
Different.
wiggly, dude.
it's an it's an ingredient for a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah, I'm cool with it as an ingredient, but it's the same way that like I like butter, but not drinking it. You know, like I just think milk is disgusting.
I'll try again.
So that's gonna be a forget it for me. big time.
I'll forget the entire genre of diet soda.
Yeah.
later.
I prefer diet over regular.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Nah.
What about zeros?
There
What
is
about like a
there
Coke
is
Zero?
taste. There's that aftertaste.
Zero
That's-
falls
it's not
into
on
the same
list.
category
That's
as
why it's not here.
diet for you.
No, I'm just gonna say diet. I don't want to do like any of the sugar that you take away,
Right. I like a
but
zero.
I'm just gonna say diet.
I like a zero,
Not about it.
but I don't like a diet. I'm going to
I'm not on
forget.
diet.
I'm going to forget each and every variety of the Mountain Dew. All
about
of them
Baja
are
Blast?
instantaneous tummy ache for me. Do
Oh,
not
because it
care
hurts
for
you.
do not care for the Baja.
It's because it hurts you. Not that it tastes bad.
And it's gross.
Oh, well, you don't have to say that.
I don't ever drink soda, like genuinely ever, but Baja Blast I would tear up in a heartbeat.
Mm-mm.
I love a
I
Baja
like
Blast.
just straight up Mountain
I would
Dew,
not.
bro.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Yeah.
Just
Do not care for
straight
them.
up Dew.
It doesn't offend me.
Do not care.
I will stream milk. I do like milk. I used to be a whole milk boy. It is, and I say drink over ingredient, but it almost feels like an ingredient. There are certain desserts that must be accompanied with some milk for me. A good cookie, a
Mhm.
good pie, a good cake.
A brownie.
probably leaning on the pastry side.
Yep.
Brownie. I'm going to always, can't even imagine not washing that down with anything but milk.
Hmm.
Someone gave me their Chick-fil-A cookie the other day because they weren't going to have that. They were too full. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, idiot. You could have saved this. And I didn't
Stupid.
have any milk or anything. I'll sub something else, which I'll have in just, I'll tell you about in a little bit, but
Coffee
I
creamer.
didn't have, I would put it. That's buy the poster coffee creamer.
Half and half. The little tubs of half and half.
Waited. That cookie waited until it had milk.
Oh wow.
That kind of thing.
I'm gonna stream chocolate milk because I almost never am like, let me have a full like 8 or 12 ouncer of milk. But I would do that with chocolate milk for sure. Especially like a little salt in it, like to make it a little bit more like savory sweet chocolate.
Dude, I love that.
It has to be lactose free though. Y'all know
Have
I
y'all
got
had Jenny's? Have y'all had Jenny's High Five ice cream?
Mm-mm.
Remember when we made our own ice cream the other day on a podcast? This has
uh-huh.
caramel peanut butter pretzel. You were talking
Oh.
about the salty with the dairy
Yeah.
and chocolate. But it's
Yeah, buddy.
chocolate covered pretzels that are crumbled up and put inside.
Mm.
Buddy.
Give me
I need to
them.
go, check it out.
Give me those.
Dude, it's
please.
amazing. Yeah, very good.
Jordan, have you streamed?
No, I'm gonna stream all. I think all like lemonades and juices just by themselves. Like before you might, turn it into an Arnie Palmy or turn it into like a vodka cranberry. Like before you turn it into another beverage, I just think all lemonades and juices for the most part are just too sweet. And but I value them for their mixable properties. I'm not gonna reach for just a lemonade, but I would reach for an Arnie Palmy in a heartbeat. Unsweet tea and a lemonade together. So good.
Do vegetable juices fall into this category for you, like a V8, like a carrot juice or a tomato juice, or are those something different? You're talking about fruit juices.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty insane to consider those in the same category for me, just because I would not treat them the same ever. Like I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I would never reach for a vegetable juice because I don't really like a Bloody Mary. I wish I did. I think it's cool. Like, Bloody Mary is one of the drinks that I'm not like this with a lot of stuff, but when somebody orders a Bloody Mary,
So
I'm like,
exotic,
dang,
dude.
they're so sick, dude. That person's probably got like jalapeno
They look
poppers and
amazing.
stuff in their drink, and it looks so fun.
Yeah.
Especially the ones where it's like, this
Is that
this
the
one has
closest-
a soft pretzel and a slice of pizza on top. Like, that sounds sick.
Is that the closest you actually are to Jordan's car corner? Like when people look at cars and like, dang, I can hear all that good stuff. I got no idea what's going on in there, but that looks so neat.
Right.
And that never is on my scale with cars,
Yeah.
but like with a Bloody Mary specifically, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
All right.
you're loud. I see you. I hear you.
I kind of, I wish,
Tip of the hat.
I wish I was into Bloody Marys.
Good luck with
because
that one,
it's-
right?
It's respectable. Like when I see somebody, I'm like, dang, I bet they're cool to hang out with when they drink a Bloody Mary.
I know at Texas Rangers games now, I won't do a Bloody Mary. I tried a Bloody Mary flight the first. Talk about diving in head first.
that's the deep end, baby.
But those sitting next to us at a Rangers game had a Bloody Mary, and it was dulled. Dude, it had calamari in it.
I don't think I
Calamari
like
and
that.
like prawns.
That's
And
like
I
you're
think
drinking
seafood Bloody Mary
like just
is
cocktail
gross to me.
sauce.
I feel like there's a lot of seafood Bloody
Is
Marys
there?
out there.
Are there? Do they?
Bloody Mary time, dude?
You know what?
It's called the Red
Bloody
Sea.
Mary.
I'm setting a goal for myself. I'm going to get into Bloody Marys. I think if I have like 4 or 5
What if
a
we
day,
all try to
would
get into
work with
Bloody
that.
Marys?
if
No
I
thanks.
have 4
It
or
is
5 a
almost
day, I think
October.
I could figure it out.
I rent Chick-fil-A Dr. Pepper.
Okay, walk us through it.
Interesting.
Best fast food Dr. Pepper out there, man.
In and out
And
Dr. Pepper.
it's the time. I'm normally not a big soda guy either, Jordan, but it's one of those to where when I'm hitting the drive-through, I'm going up on the size scale because I've got a friend there, and so I say rent because I don't seek it out. But if I'm at Chick-fil-A, especially in that drive-through line, I'm not saying we proudly serve Chick-fil-A's. I'm saying like the hubs have the good syrup out there,
sure.
and it is consistent and it is good. It's delicious. It's close to a Dublin DP kind of. A little more sugary, a little bit. Real good with that chicken. But yeah, Chick-fil-A Dr. Pepper. I'll work on that for a whole day.
I like that.
It's good.
I'm going to rent the unlabeled, nondescript $2 beer at the State Fair. It's hot outside.
Ooh, that's a good beer.
It's hot outside. It's ice cold.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just Lone Star, but they don't tell you. It
Dude.
comes in a plastic cup with no labels on it. And it is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Every time I hit it. It's so refreshing and perfect.
I remember being a kiddo and watching like it's summer, it's hot, like the commercials to where like the refreshing thing to do was have a beer,
Right.
a cold beer.
Yeah.
I just didn't get
Yeah.
it. But then something happened and I'm
Yeah.
like, man,
Yeah.
I'm miserable right now. I could go for a domestic.
Something that has next to no taste, but it's just so crispy.
Yeah. That's what it is. It's crispy. It's like drinking
That Coors
drinking
Original,
glass,
bro.
not broken glass. It's like drinking a stream of cold sea glass. It's delicious and
It's
perfect.
just
Yes,
crispy.
dude.
It's
love
just
that.
crispy. I'm going it's the zeros for me. It's each and every one of the zeros.
Nice.
Each fairer than the last.
So boring.
I love the zeros.
I like
man.
a Coke Zero.
I love a Coke Zero. I like a Coke Zero more than I like a Coke Coke 100%. I appreciate the way that my local Sonic is able to take a Sprite Zero and turn it into a very convincing 10-calorie version of a cherry limeade.
Dude, what about an ocean
The zeros
water?
are out here doing the Lord's work.
You ever had an ocean water zero? With
Yeah.
those zeros? I like it as ocean water zero. That's one of the only sodas I'll seek out. Is an ocean water, that coconut.
Yep.
Ooh, nom, 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 nom.
Zeros are out here doing good things for me.
Let's buy. What are we buying, friends? I know what I'm buying. I'm buying all sparkling waters. Topo's, LaCroix, off-brands, Liquid Death, sparkling, all sparkling waters. My favorite is Topo with lime, but I will not deny any of them. It's all the bubbles that I miss from soda without any of the gross sugary feeling. I can drink LaCroix. I like a morning LaCroix, dude. a sparkling water. I got a LaCroix right here.
Topo's got a love that.
It's
Topo has
so
a
good.
bite that is
Unmatched.
not replicated anywhere.
Unmatched. It's so
It has.
It hurts.
I prefer. I'm gonna put that lime in myself though.
sure. Oh, I like that.
Fresh lime
I like that.
down in there. Buy from Easy cold brew coffee, bro. Just black cold brew, and it's just it is a friend. It is a coworker. It is if I could have that all the time, I would. You know, if I could get like a nitro tap in a house someday, it'd be wild to me. Luxurious.
Yep.
Because I don't care most of the time what temperature my black coffee is. I help volunteer at our church, and there's always coffee left over in like the big cardboard briefcase boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just take one home, just throw it in the fridge, and then just drink it that way.
Yep.
That's not the same as cold brew.
That's your iced coffee now.
I'm just down for a cold sip of caffeine. I love it.
I'm going to buy specifically the grapefruit Topo Chicos. And then grandfathered in, hidden under the wings of this Topo Chico chicken are all the baby chicks that are all the other sparkling waters as well. But I think the king of them all is the grapefruit. It's like twist of grapefruit or hint of grapefruit, whatever.
Sure.
Topo Chico. That is the most refreshing of the sparkling waters to me.
Yeah, it's really good. Especially
I buy the poster
so
for
cold
coffee.
The bottle hurts
Mm-hmm.
to hold.
Hurts your hands.
Yeah.
So good.
That's amazing.
But I buy the poster for coffee. Every coffee, every kind of coffee. I'm like full on caffeine addiction to the point where it's like I am
you hurt.
irritable and have a horrible headache if I go more than like 30 minutes after waking up without having something.
Yep.
And I just feel nasty the whole day,
Yep.
which is not good. It's not like a thing that I'm like, this is my proudest accomplishment that I've given myself a crippling caffeine addiction. Coffee's just so good. Every kind of it. Black with cream, with syrup. We just made like some homemade pumpkin spice syrup here, which is like the consistency of like a barbecue sauce almost. Like it is just a thick pumpkin spice sauce.
It's gross to
and
me,
it is
but-
extremely good. Sweet, dark, however you prepare it, I
Cortado,
will enjoy it.
My go-to vacation caffeine after a nice dinner is a double shot of espresso.
Yep.
It would send me straight to the restroom.
Well, I do request it in the bathroom. So
Yeah.
Bring it to me upon the thread.
it's ready. It's like Drano.
I'm buying the poster for the same thing that Carter purchased. It's an ice cold black cold brew. There is
such
nothing
grown-ups.
better. Cold outside, hot outside, stormy outside, sunny outside, indoor, outdoor, first thing in the morning, later on in the day. Don't
Indoor,
matter
outside.
to me.
Outdoor, outside.
An ice cold black cold brew is the perfect intersection of refreshing, thirst quenching, pick me up, shake me around, set me down, wind my clock, and send me on my way.
Yeah.
It is everything every other liquid wishes it could be. And I love it.
Any length of time too that it takes to get through it for me. I'm all over the chart in terms of like 3 minutes, hour and a half, sipping on it a little bit. It's fine. It's already
Sometimes
strong
I
enough
like-
that when that ice starts to melt, it's okay. It's a different drink now.
If I'm reading, like if I've got like a day off, like I'll do this later today. If I'm just sitting and reading and I can get a cold brew and just sort of like set a napkin underneath it so that the sweat doesn't get on the table because I'm just going to take my time, just a sip every 10 minutes or so, just really savor that. Just be real precious about the whole thing. Whew.
We've been making a lot of cold brew concentrate this summer.
Dude, we
pretty much
drank
it's the only way we drink
What you
coffee.
gave us, it's so good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out good. Of just making like a huge carafe of concentrate that you dilute to like 2/3 water, 1/3 concentrate, or half and half if you want a little stronger. And that's like, I haven't had hot coffee in months because we're just making cold brew this summer.
Dude, the Dozier Lab, man. I want to.
Welcome.
I need to taste.
Step on into the test kitchen, baby.
My poster is a drink that was made for me. Shout out Sir Buffett, man. We lost a good one, but I can't beat a margarita in my life, bro.
Yeah, man.
I love what I would call like closer to the extremes of like taste in terms of like sour, sweet, salty, spicy. Margarita can play with all those and have
It can
just
be all.
a good
It can be
time.
any.
It can be any.
Yep.
It can be all. But there's just nothing like just a classic marg. I love it. Chelsea and I are going to Cancun. We're going to an all-inclusive for a week at the beginning of October. And
Ooh.
bro, we're just going to be pacing ourselves. We'll be chugging some water in between, but it's going to be, we're going to get deep.
It's Marg City. That's
Cool.
Marg City for sure.
Because here's the thing.
That
Any
is
dive
Margaritaville.
bar, anybody, they can put together a good marg. You're not going to make a real bad one.
Even a bad marg, it's pretty good.
A few years ago at a friend's wedding, it was like the middle of summer and they were serving extremely strong margaritas to the point where like
It's called
it was an outdoor wedding, extremely strong margaritas. There was like 105 out there and the wedding ended and everybody had to just be like, I got to sit here for a minute, guys. Those are some big boy drinks. But we began for margarita number 2 for me. I ended up cutting it with unsweet tea to make a sort of facsimile of an Arnold Palmer. It's a margarita Arnold Palmer because it was extremely sour. It was closer to lemonade. This is the part where you tell me that you hate what I've done. Go ahead. Say that.
I think I already did.
I don't hate it.
Say you hate what I've done. Say you hate what I've done. But we called it the Margaret Thatcher, a.k.a. the Iron Lady. And so we were drinking Iron Ladies for that wedding instead of the super strong margaritas.
Dude. That's so funny too, because Arnold Palmer, golfer, we know that most of your bag of clubs are called irons.
Is irons. Exactly.
Iron Lady.
Just
Gosh,
the Iron
dude.
Lady.
When you can intersect your knowledge of sports and of drink,
I often do that.
masterclass.
Uh-huh. Like I call orange juice hoop sauce because it's orange like a basketball.
Oof. I love a brunch with some hoop sauce and champagne, bro, and a flute.
Yep.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Just a whisper of the hoop sauce. Mostly
Yep.
some of that brute because I can't afford the champagne.
Blood. It's mostly some of the blood
The
and
blood.
hoop sauce.
I call, excuse me. Sorry. I choked. I'm not thinking of it.
Oh, this is going to be funny.
It's gonna be
Carter,
so
This is going to be
good.
so fun. Carter, this is going to be funny. Just get ready, dude.
Dude, I call.
I'm going to try not to laugh.
The thing is about it that I call gin and tonics the 98 Bulls because Jordan's going to bring them home.
And that's how you get clicks.